Hey guys, this is an unscripted, a little rant here. I wouldn't be doing more of these, by the way, because it's easier than writing a script and then making a video. But I've noticed that the skeptic community has really fallen into this trap of being so against social justice mentality,
You're fucking a white male! So? You're a white man!
and for good reasons, I would say, that they've lost their skepticism when it comes to the right wing. And what I mean by this is that, and I think Cult of Dusty did a video about this a while ago, is that all these people who were worried that Obama was going to go and take their guns and that he was a secret Muslim and that, Christians are going to be persecuted, we used to laugh at them now. We used to laugh at them. And now what we've become is this bunch who's been so cowed by fear of social justice.
You're fucking a white male! So? You're a white man!
That we've embraced the right wing or the alt-right. So, for example, what you have are people, specifically, these are conservatives, and I talked about this in my video on Trump, but we've been sold this notion of political correctness that includes basic correctness. And because of that, the right hasn't actually had to present any arguments for their position. All they've had to do is say, well, I'm against political correctness, except they keep redefining it and redefining it and redefining it to the point where the word loses its meaning, and anything that is not what they believe is just political correctness. I've been called an SJW for supporting gay marriage. What you have with people like Dave Rubin is that for obvious financial reasons, it's not hard to see, he has cozied up to the right wing. Ben Shapiro, Milo Yiannopoulos, Sargon of Akkad, and the like. Now, are these people skeptics? Okay, well, let's go one at a time. Milo Yiannopoulos, a guy who said on Bill Maher's show that trans people are overwhelmingly represented in sex crimes. He was right, but the spirit in which he said that was not right, because they're overwhelmingly represented as the victims of sex crimes. He didn't mention that. And he didn't mention that for obvious reasons. The guy is a transphobic idiot. And he's also religious, Catholic. Where's the skeptic community on that, right? Or is your skepticism only extending to your God belief, right? Is it actual skepticism? Where is your skepticism when it comes to Ben Shapiro, a conservative, an Orthodox Jewish conservative with a revanchist theology that wants Israel to encompass at the very southern border, the Sinai Peninsula, going all the way up to Damascus, Syria? He tweeted this image of the ideal Israel, basically a 10th century Davidic kingdom. And he said that Israel should go back to its 967 BC borders. That's what he wants. Where's the skeptic community on that? Sargon of Akkad, this classical liberal, except he caters to a bunch of right-wing points. Where was his video when Rania Khalek was shut down from speaking by North Carolina UNC Students for Justice in Palestine? Where was that video? It goes both ways. Gad Saad, whom I used to like, but now I just despise, he blocked me, by the way, because he only is a feminist when it comes to Islam. This is another thing that the alt-right has done. They've used Islam as a benchmark. And so anything short of that is totally justified. Karen Strawn is okay. She's a men's rights activist and a Sharia apologist and is an apologist for Saudi Arabia's treatment of women. She doesn't get called a regressive Muslim apologist because she's also fundamentally against feminism, and they like her for that. Where's the skeptic community on this? And I'm not saying all skeptics. I mean, there are people who are consistent, but a lot of times what these anti-SJWs and anti-PC people don't understand is that it goes both ways. It goes both ways. Dave Rubin will call you an anti-Semite if you criticize Israel. In fact, I don't know if anyone saw it, but a week before 2017 began, John Kerry, former Secretary of State, gave a speech blasting Israeli settlements. Dave Rubin said he was going to go into a little hiatus and then, from social media and then restart things at the beginning of the year. He broke out from that and went on a Twitter meltdown. A Twitter meltdown because of the speech that John Kerry gave. So, he became his own, the very same PC police that he purports to despise. And it's not an accident. This is what a lot of these people have done. They have this sort of neutrality bias, which is not neutrality at all. And this will be, the subject of a future topic, or maybe I'll just address it now. But neutrality isn't always neutral. It's not an accident that Dave Rubin and Gad Saad specifically have who they do on their shows. It's not an accident that Gad Saad has Steven Crowder and Milo Yiannopoulos and Karen Strawn and Frank Gaffney and Robert Spencer and Lauren Southern on his show, but not Glenn Greenwald. And it's not an accident that Dave Rubin has Karen Strawn and Lauren Southern and Mike Cernovich and Ben Shapiro on his show, but not Norman Finkelstein, who is Jewish and the son of Holocaust survivors on both sides, on his show to talk about Israel and Palestine. So it goes both ways. He has his own views and he has his own audience, but the thing is, he doesn't challenge them because it will, disappoint a lot of his fan base. So what you have is a lot of his fan base want, for example, Richard Spencer to go on. In fact, he had Lauren Southern on his show a week ago, and she said this.
Even the Richard Spencers of the world, like they're kind of misrepresented as well. Like Richard Spencer is not a white supremacist. He is a white nationalist. He believes in a white ethno-state. He doesn't believe in whites being superior.
That Richard Spencer is not a white supremacist. He is just a white nationalist. Well, first of all, that's not true, as you can see here.
No one will honor us for losing gracefully. No one mourns the great crimes committed against us. For us, it is conquer or die. The mainstream media, or perhaps we should refer to them in the original German, Lügenpresse. To be white is to be a striver, a crusader, an explorer, and a conqueror. We build, we produce, we go upward. And we recognize the central lie of American race relations. We don't exploit other groups. We don't gain anything from their presence. They need us and not the other way around.
At this conference, that's not true. He wants a white ethno-state, and he believes that whites are supreme. And what Lauren Southern just did is to make that point as if that is a distinction that is supposed to matter when criticizing his ideology. It's not. And so many people have been lost on this point. Yes, the left has eaten itself, and they often go crazy and they act stupid, but the right wing is worse. And people have totally forgotten that. And now, and I said this in my my previous video on Trump is that the left, because of their craziness, the right wing was able to seize on this and then sort of portray themselves as this new countercultural movement. It's not and never will be, because these ideas are regressive, and it doesn't matter how many blonde or gay or English faces you can put on it, this will never be cool. This will never be cool. And these ideas will never be cool. You can't use the worst aspects of the left as arguments for the right wing. And finally, regarding Milogate, if Keith Ellison, a black Muslim who has, said questionable things in the past, he's fully renounced them, but if he said that pedophilia or hebephilia, sex between adults and pubescent children, was okay and defended it like Milo did, and people found out about it, you bet your ass that Gad Saad and Dave Rubin and all these alt-right types would be condemning him, and rightfully. But barely a peep, barely a condemnation from so many of these people who support him. Of course, he resigned from Breitbart, and Simon & Schuster canceled his book deal, but, a lot of people just kept it under wraps. The only person I saw who was consistent on this point was Stefan Molyneux, and if you haven't seen his video addressing Milogate, you should go see it because it's actually very good. But the skeptic community has really lost its mind on these issues, and they've essentially embodied the same social justice warriors that they claim to despise. And so that's all I wanted to say. Have a good day.
I don't like them putting chemicals in the water that turn the friggin' frogs gay. Do you understand that? Serious crap.